Hello and welcome. Hello, I'm Yvonne Purvis, and I am a transformation coach. And I am super excited to be here today. So, today we're going to talk about identity, right? Identity shifting to the millionaire mindset. And in this video, you're going to understand how you need to embody it, plus identity, right? Change the identity in order for it to show up as the person, as her. Okay. So let's get into this. So identity shifting is how we grow. So I want you to think about if you're an entrepreneur or have your own business, if it's a bricks and mortar, it doesn't really matter. If we want to call in more, right? So you are making multi six figures, or maybe you're five figures. Let's just, for the sake of talking about money and identity, let's just talk about you have a multi six figure business and you want to hit seven figures. Okay. The millionaire you that you want to be. So we can't operate the same way in the same body, in the same identity to become her, right? It is a shift in how we see ourselves. How does that look for you? And these are the questions that sometimes you need to ask yourself. Do you feel different? Do you feel like you are operating as the new identity that you've created? I always, when I'm shifting identities, is a reflection of who you are. Look in the mirror, do your mirror work, look at yourself, tell yourself who you are. You are a multi-million dollar entrepreneur, has a Facebook group and this and that. Like, who are you? Because right now, maybe you are selling, I'm going to talk about online coaching because that's the space I'm in, okay, for the moment. So as an entrepreneur, online business, how would I show up differently, right? And these are the things that I've had to look at in my own life and in my own, it's who I am, right? As a person, as a woman, as Yvonne. For me, when I think about it, when I did a huge upgrade in my life was last year when I knew I had to shift my name back to my maiden name. I was married and divorced over 5 years ago, but I had kept that surname, which was 20 plus years. And the reason I thought about it, but then I didn't do it, was because everything was there. My business was in there, my personal email, like it was such a big project to take on that I didn't have the energy to do it until I was calling in. I wanted more in my life. I was changing my business and I knew that was a different person. I wasn't the same woman. I started that business in the industry of weight loss and fitness in COVID, right? Going through the divorce. I was very different 2 years ago. So last year was when I knew this had to shift in me. And that was the first thing I did. It was like, I'm not Yvonne Stanton. That's what I would say to myself. I would look in the mirror and go, you are Yvonne Purvis. Yvonne Purvis was the confident. I was the millionaire, right? So at 28 years of age, I became a millionaire in my business. That's who I was. I was a risk taker. I was bold. I was unapologetically me. I didn't care what you thought of me. I laughed loud. I knew a lot of people. I mean, I played life loud, right? And then all of a sudden I had shrunk coming out and in my marriage. He shrunk me purposely to be small, to not be seen. And then what they do is that all of a sudden they divorce you, and because you're not enough anymore, because they've made you feel so small, and I made him a multimillionaire. Yes, I did. So I had to let go of that name. It wasn't negotiable for me anymore. And I was doing it in the process of selling my home. So can you see now how the identity was really falling away? And you have to realize that when we are shifting and growing, it is about the fall away. The identity and embodiment is the unfolding of the new start, the new fresh start, the new beginning of who you are. So a millionaire, multi-million dollar Yvonne Purvis is a very different woman than I was a year ago in all areas. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go through a divorce, doesn't mean you have to sell your house, but those are the things that I had to do to free myself because they were caging me, right? They would not allow me to grow to who I am right now. And I've had a massive shift since I've gone to London. And I might have to do another one of those plays, or maybe I'll talk a little bit about London, because London was a massive upgrade. So it was not something I could not do in order to be where I am right now, doing absolutely what I love doing. This channel, my new niche in coaching women, right? It's all about this growth and this limitation and rewriting your story. And guys, I'm Yvonne Purvis. I'm a transformation coach, and I help women rewrite your story. Stop pretending to be happy. Stop pretending to be okay with your business. I want you to be free and let go of those limitations and those fear and the scarcity and all that other shit that is going on in here, and you are holding on to in your body, because you are holding on to it in your body. Okay? This is where the London will come up. You don't even realize what is still in you and keeping you small, keeping you sane, keeping you from being your best self. And maybe someone said to you something, oh, well, you're so this and you're so that, or you're high maintenance. My ex-husband used to say that to me. I used to say, yes, I am. I owned it. I didn't care what he thought until I did, right? As somebody's starting to shrink you. So think about your life, because when things are falling apart, and this is what happens when we do start letting go and we start elevating ourselves to our new version of ourselves, people are going to present themselves, and it can be uncomfortable because they are falling away. And what I say, when things start feeling that way, the only thing you can do is rise up in you. They will fall either away or they will fall in up a level with you. But you can't keep yourself small in order to be friends or keep a marriage or keep a job if it is not serving you anymore. You are worth more and you can have more, but you have to make those bold moves. You have to let go of what no longer is making you good, because as soon as you start letting go, the opportunities will start falling in your way, because you become grounded, you become back in power, you become back in alignment with source energy, the universe, God, who is always working with you. You just may not know it because you're in stress or fight and flight, and you're not listening to the gentle nudges that they're appearing in your life. That intuition that says, go there, don't do that, do this. So you can see it's like this big circle that we live in. And when we get into the flow and when things are super easy, life is so much fun and easy. And yes, it still has its curves and challenges that we must go through, because that's personal development, that's your inner discovery. But when you are growing and ascending and everything is in flow, you are going and doing it really easily. So identity to the millions, right? To scale your business, to make more money, to have that financial freedom, to do it quicker, right? Not have to wait 2, 3, 5 years to make that money. You can do it quicker when you are in alignment with yourself. And this is the stuff that is super important in order to get there. Okay. So the identity. So who are you? What do you want to change? How does she dress? I used to do this with my clients, right? In my weight loss. And I do it obviously in all my clients now because it's part of what I coach. But before I was really in this work, I used to say, like, who do you want to be? A millionaire, a first-class woman? Most of those clients called themselves first class, because what's the difference of somebody that walks on the plane? Are you going left into business class? Because there's not always first class. But even business class is such an upgrade compared to sitting back in economy. Like, it is not negotiable, in my opinion, when I'm flying overseas, right? It's always a turning left. It is who I am, turning left. So maybe you can look at yourself. So if you were turning left and you haven't turned left in the past or in this time yet, what would be different about you if you were sitting up the front of the airplane? How would you feel? Would you dress differently? Would you put on something actually a little nicer, even though you're going to be in comfy clothes if you're going on a long distance flight? Well, you get pajamas anyway, right? So in first class and business, you do get pajamas depending on how far you're traveling. So you can still put on really nice clothes because you're going to go into your jammies and sleep on the plane in a flatbed. So what would you like? What would be different? Sometimes it's letting go of clothes in your wardrobe. And let's face it, women, you've got too many clothes, right? You have clothes that you haven't worn because you can't fit into them, or you've got clothes that you bought and just hang in there. Sometimes clothes that you buy are your higher self and you don't wear them out. So we have to find her, okay? And I want you to really think about it. Go into your wardrobe. What should you wear if you were making $1 million? What would you wear if you're having even if you wanted to get your business to $500,000? But women that are making millions of dollars, they do things differently. They show up differently. They're still people. I'm not saying that they're, phony or pretentious, not ones that I hang around. They're just beautiful, but they are in flow. They are calm. They are patient, and they really just listen and let things fall off their shoulders and make decisions from thinking, not reacting. So now I'm going to talk about London. Okay. So we've got the identity and who are you? And this is the millionaire woman that you're turning into. And then we have to embody that. And the embodiment is like, you just know you're different because you've done that work. You've truly done the work on yourself. You've told yourself who you are and you have stepped into it. But what can happen, depending on how long you've been holding on to stuff, is that there can be an underlying weight. And that we call that the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind that can keep going back to the old ways of the negativity, any of the fears, the lack of money, the lack of worthiness, the lack of self-love, the lack of whatever that is that this guy is trying to keep you small because it's ego. And this is where I want you to really understand. This is all, like, you got to let it go. You have to release it and say, no, not today, not today. That's not who I am. And this is how we keep reprogramming our identity to then completely embody it. But now I'm going to talk about London. So I had embodied, okay? So before I went to London, I was feeling absolutely, I knew where I was going. I'm a multimillionaire. It is done. Okay. In my opinion and who I am, it is done. It's just now doing what I'm doing and keep going and serving women, being on my YouTube channel, doing the stuff in my Facebook group and all the other things that we do in our business. Okay. Talking to clients, bringing on new clients. So I go to London and I'm feeling really good. And, a couple of us caught up because we were there together, which was super great. And then we had a beautiful dinner at the Shard in London, which was stunning. I mean, absolutely stunning. You talk about opulence and wealth and just being around it, you felt like a multimillionaire. Okay. Like, that is so fun. And when you are feeling any kind of lack, I want you to go to a shopping center and be around money. And if it makes you feel uncomfortable, you need to ask yourself, why is this making me feel uncomfortable? Because that is not who you are. That is a subconscious belief. Something has happened. Someone said something, and that is your money story. So feeling so good. I went into, Harrods, the shopping center, which was just like blow my mind. It was great to be there. The mall didn't really resonate with me though. So it was kind of like, okay, I'm out of here. It was great seeing all the money, and it was like being in Vegas, right? Billions of dollars circulating in all those high-end shops. But it didn't feel like a place for me to want to shop at all. So I left. I'm going to sneeze. So then we have our mastermind full day. It's going amazing. We're in there all day and we're being asked questions. It was a small group, so it was very one-to-one. It was fantastic. I mean, it was just the best mastermind, worth every single dollar to get to investment, I should say, to go to London because it's far away from me. And I started to talk about some of these fears that are still like, I don't know, every now and then they come up. And I knew it wasn't me. I mean, I flew to London and took 30 hours to get there, right? Like I invested, I knew I'm in a good place, but yet these things were still somewhere in there. And as soon as I talked about them and shared my stuff, we were having lunch. We kind of shifted. We took a break. We had lunch. And all of a sudden, I had to go to the bathroom. And this, yes, might sound awful for you, but let me tell you, this is how the body works, right? So subconsciously, because I talked about it, I brought it up to the surface. Now, let's face it, we're in a room with all manifesting women, right? All wanting millionaires plus, and some are already multimillionaires. And doesn't my body go enough? And I had to go to the loo and it came out of me both ends. Like I was lying when I was in there, I felt like, is this food poisoning? Because it just came out of nowhere. And then had to lie on the floor, and that's a other story to, something cold to start to feel better. And I knew this was a purge of the old self. So our emotions can be held in the body. And I've always known this because weight loss is always about that. I had no idea that was the 20 years of my marriage, of all the things he said to me over those years, mostly in the last 10, that were still in there. That's all I can say. And it all came out. And the next day, I wasn't feeling my highest self. I felt a little bit exhausted from going through that process. But wow, that shifted everything for me. That took me to another level. Now I'm like, okay, multi-millions. So our embodiment of this work is so important to be the person and know that it's coming to you. Like, and it's just women, like as we age, because in my 20s, when I built my $1 million business at the age of 28, I mean, I didn't feel any of that. There was no limiting belief in me. I didn't see that there was. But remember, there was no Facebook, there was no social media, there was no one to compare to because we didn't know. So that's how I really feel, is that I was just in alignment all the time, being in and doing what felt good for me, what I desired. I listened to my intuition, and I grew this massive business in a very short time from starting my business, where it was just organic and it kept growing. And that business served me for over 10 years, millions of dollars being circulated right in me, in my life. And I didn't ever hold on to it. Like the story of my marriage was a very different one. I felt insecure. I was holding on, right? So as women, that when you have been through something, it can just stay in your body. It's not really who you are. It's just the fear because something's happened that you think that's who you are, but it's not you at all. And I'm giving you permission to know this and to let it go. Release it from you. Go and write it down, burn it, and try really listen and get it out of your body. You don't have to do what I did in the purge. I mean, it was unbelievable. And it really was the letting go for me, the last bit. but I was already embodied as the multi-million dollar woman, right? So when you are growing into the woman you want to be, or if a guy is listening to this, it's the same results, right? Like, where are you now? Where do you want to be? And then you have to just know that it's done. You have to 100% believe in it. You need to know it with certainty and have faith and just do everything, and everything come in alignment for what you want. The clients, the business, the social proof, whatever it is that you need in your business or in your life. If you just want a better marriage or you're looking for a man, it's all the same. You know, if you're looking for a man, you're just going to be knowing he's already there. So what qualities does he have? How does he treat you? What does he do for you? How do you work together? How do you live together? And you just want to be like at home, swimming in this idea that he's already there. So if you already had the $2 million in your bank account, how would you feel? How would you feel having $2 million in your bank account and knowing that was an abundance of money that could keep coming in? Not like a lotto where you just get it, because then you don't know how you're going to get it back, right? So in service, we know that we're doing things for the greater good. So we're always in this circulation. We don't have to hold on to anything because we're working, we're using it, we're investing in it. How would you feel? Would that give you security? Would you feel financially secure? Would you feel happy? Would you feel calm? Would you sleep like a baby? Would you do the things you love? How many hours would you work? How many days would you work? Would you travel more? Would there be certainty in your life? Would there be fulfillment? How much would you love yourself? Would you need a man? No, because you would be a whole woman or a whole man. You would want and desire somebody who matches your vibration and your energy to grow together. You would feel so secure in your life that nothing would ever bother you. And that is the millionaires. That calmness, does that come out? Do you feel that energy? It is something else when you get in there, right? And there is complete certainty without a shadow of a doubt. You just have to hold that image. So your identity is the start, then embodiment, and then a knowing it's done. So let me know how you went with this video. Let me know where you are in that process of your identity, your embodiment, and holding the vision that you know it's done. Because that is all there is to do. And it sounds super easy, doesn't it? It can be, or it can't be, or it may be a struggle. But I do know that when things have been, when you've had things that have been in your life and you have struggled for more than 10 years with something, it takes a bit of time, right? In my opinion, it does. I guess I look at my marriage. It took me a while to get back to who I was. So I'm wishing you all the best. Lots of love and gratitude. Hit that subscribe button, please, if this video is resonating with you, and let's create our millionaire, multi-million-dollar lives. Yeah, this is what this is for. This is how I coach my clients to become millionaires. It is the simple stuff of life. Don't forget, if you're needing some support and you're ready to step into this next version of yourself, book a call with me. Let's get on a chat, and let's see where I can help you. All right. See you, beautiful ladies, and everyone else. Have a beautiful day.